we celebrate the many generous gifts of Noah, Nashville Organized for Action and Hope. We have with us 3 members of our congregation's Noah A team, A standing for action, and they serve as a bridge connecting our congregation with the ongoing work and mission of Noah. Sharing reflections with us today, we have Terry O'Neil, Susie Wilcox, and Carleen Dowell. And we begin with Terry.
So, my name is Terry O'Neil. My pronouns are she, her. I recently moved to Nashville when I retired. And prior to that time, I actually had spent about 20 years in working in social justice, working for women's rights organizations, for an organization promoting the employment rights of employees not to be discriminated against in the workplace, and racial justice organizations. Now, a lot of the work that I did was actually electioneering, getting people elected, candidates elected, who would promote anti-racism and inclusive policies, and both at the community level, city council races, state legislature, Congress, presidential elections. And so they're very energizing. Those are wonderful things to do, but quite frankly, by the time I moved here in early 2023, the 2020 election and the 2022 election had left me completely exhausted. So one of the things I knew I wanted to do when I came here was continue my social justice work, but do it in community organizing, working on issues that matter most to local communities. And I knew that probably the Unitarian Universalist Church was where I should start looking for those opportunities. So I came to a Sunday service, and after the service, I met Susie Wilcox. She was there greeting people, and the first thing Susie asked me was, "What do you want? What matters most to you?" And I said, "Well, you know, racial justice is very important to me, and I want to do some community organizing." And she said, "I have an opportunity for you. It's called NOAH. It's Nashville Organized for Action and Hope. It is a citywide coalition of congregations and unions, labor unions, and civil rights organizations that work on specific issues throughout the community." And then Susie introduced me to Carleen Dowell, who started talking to me about her experience with NOAH and what you can do and what kinds of things you can do. And I thought, well, I probably should check it out. So I went to a NOAH meeting, and as luck would have it, the first meeting that I went to was NOAH's annual big gathering. It was huge. There were an enormous number of people, and the purpose of the gathering was for all of the member organizations to vote on what core issues will this organization work on for the coming year. They had a list of, I want to say 8 or 9 or 10 possibilities, and the idea was to shrink that list to just 4. In the end, they came up with 5, so it was close. And those 5 are education, affordable housing, criminal justice, economic equity and jobs, and transportation. Those are the issues. What I was really impressed by at this large annual gathering is this. Everyone in the room shared the same basic values of respect and honor for every individual, of the same progressive values that we hold dear as Unitarian Universalists. But also, people in the room had very different life experiences, right? Those of us from this UU church do not know a lot of the life experiences of the African American churches that are constituent members of NOAH. And it's extremely important for us to have those conversations and to be in communion with everyone in our community to make the community a better place. That is exactly what I found when I went to that NOAA meeting. So since then, I've been to other meetings and have gotten completely hooked. I've signed up for the transportation task force, what we're going to do, and we're going to be building our power in the community first by marshaling all of our resources. Everyone is expected to say, who do you know? And my answer is, well, not very many people, because I just moved here. But the idea is to find out who do we know and how can we make change in our community. I will just say that electioneering, which I know a lot about, is a sprint. It's high energy, high intensity, and then you have election day, and then it's over, and then you can go home. But community organizing of the type that NOAA does moves a lot more slowly. It involves a lot of listening and less persuading. And that, I think, gives us a chance to create the kind of deep and lasting change that is rooted in mutual respect and collaboration. So I'm excited to be working with NOAA through this church, and I hope you will all think about joining in. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Susie Wilcox. My pronouns are she and her. I'm honored to speak to you about NOAA today. My involvement has not been very long, but it has been chock full of new learning, new insights, and meeting new people. To be truthful, when I began my involvement with NOAA and the A-Team, I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. My eagerness to get involved and the desire to work alongside others is very similar to what you heard from Terry and what you'll hear from Carleen. It offered a way to be involved in a focused and directed manner and to work alongside people who had the same interests that I did. Involvement also met my need to feel that I was giving back, sharing my good fortune, and being a useful human being. As I became more aware of what NOAA was and how it intermeshed with Fund's A-Team, I was offered a very generous opportunity. I was invited to attend the Gamaliel National Leadership Training, of which NOAA is a member. The Gamaliel organization is a national organization focused on transformational justice. I mention this as an illustration of the depth and reach of NOAA and its counterparts. This very intensive and interactive training occurred over almost 5 days. The training was arranged to keep us engaged and help us to discover the strength within ourselves. One of the most mind-altering moments occurred when we discussed power. In my generation, the concept of power held a very negative connotation. Power was bad and it caused bad things. NOAA interprets power very differently. NOAA operates on the principle that power is organized people and organized money. Thoughtful, meaningful, and purposeful interactions is the effective method to make the needed societal changes. There is a roadmap. This concept made me feel so gobsmacked. Sometimes just having the tools, knowing the methods, and focusing on the desired end result can pave the way. This knowledge also helped me feel more in tune at membership meetings and task force meetings. Terry mentioned her task force. Mine is the education task force, and we have a large consortium who attend that task force here at Fun. I felt like with this knowledge I was really part of the team. Another tool we were trained on and is used very effectively by NOAA is the one-on-one meeting. These are purposeful, scheduled meetings between people which allow both parties to get to know each other, to understand where they've been, what drives them, and what they hope to work for in the future. At first, I found this whole idea frightening, but after engaging in several one-on-ones, I was amazed at the deeper knowledge I gained about my partner. The one-on-one meeting resulted in a relationship that hadn't existed before. This relationship made working together in the future more successful, purposeful, and enjoyable. The aforementioned skill trainings, the opportunity to be informed about what is happening politically in our area and how we will engage to make our voices heard, and the knowledge that by being aligned with NOAA and the A-Team, I can be more than I am. Thank you, and I'll see you at the team fair.
Good morning. I'm Carleen Dowell. My pronouns are she, her. My entry into NOAA was at its very beginning here in Nashville, about 10 years ago now. Fun was in on, Fun, our church's short name, was in on the early organizational meetings, and I was able to be a part of that. Later, Vicki Stinnett got what we now call the A-team together and started here at the church, and I gradually got more involved with the Affordable Housing Task Force because of my long-standing association with Habitat for Humanity. I was amazed at the complexity. This is what I learned, was the complexity of the issue of affordable housing. It was just amazing. And my close work with anti-racism also got very intermixed with the issue of affordable housing. I learned about institutional racism and things like redlining, and the differences in appraisal values depending on what neighborhood you're in. The injustices became obvious, and the work of NOAA is to work alongside people who are affected by the issues. So it gave me proximity instead of it being a heady thing where I was learning about how these issues affect people. I met people and talked with them and heard their stories about how these things have affected them and their ability to have a home at all. I met people who are homeless, who are experiencing everything from homelessness to gentrification, which is rampant in Nashville, as you know. I heard many stories about rent going up beyond what they could afford, people could afford, and so what were their options? To move out of Nashville, to move in with family, or to become homeless. These were all options that I heard about and are real in Nashville. And when you have the opportunity to work beside people and help them build their power to tackle these systems in Nashville, then you feel powerful yourself. And it's not as much like what I do with Habitat of giving direct service, but it's working with to raise up the people that you are affected by the issues. So that's what's different about NOAA's work and why I think it's so important for us as an anti-racist organization to be a part of this kind of work. The other thing that really affected me about NOAA was the relationships that I've developed with especially women in leadership positions in NOAA. And I'm going to highlight one of my favorites, Paulette Coleman. She was one of the co-chairs of the Affordable Housing Task Force, and I was just so honored to work with her. She is a leader in the AME Church, and she showed me that assertiveness and persistence can get you a long way when you're talking to people in power about the issues that matter. One action that we took together that really affected me personally was we were working with the, I can never think of that name, I have it written down, the Metro trustee who takes care of taxes on your homes and assessments of your homes for taxes purposes. And they have tax assistance programs for older folks. And we were pushing to have more opportunities for older folks to sign up for these programs. And the Metro trustee office said they couldn't do that because they didn't have enough staff. And so we organized people to staff these things for them. And I got to be one of those people that helped people fill out the forms. I heard their stories about, different life circumstances that kept them from being able to stay in their homes if they couldn't pay their taxes. And it was so rewarding to let them know they qualified for the assistance and get them on board so that they could stay in their homes. So there are opportunities in NOAA to protest. There's also opportunities to help people. But most important, it's building power to tackle these institutional injustices that exist. Thank you.